Hi, I'm Nikki Jabor, and today I want to talk about how to harvest your herbs. I grow so many different types of culinary herbs in my raised beds, as well as on my sunny back deck in containers and planters. In my garden, I have parsley, oregano, basil, thyme, well, probably about a dozen different types of herbs at least. And I love harvesting from them all summer long to use fresh in my cooking. But I also harvest the excess herbs so I can dry them or freeze them, and we can enjoy them all winter long. I'm going to show you today when you should harvest from your herbs so you can preserve maximum flavor, and how to harvest from your plants so you can encourage plenty of healthy new growth. Let's get started. When it comes to choosing the best time to harvest herbs, there are two considerations. One, the time of year, and two, the time of day. Now, if you're picking herbs just to add to your cooking, harvest whenever you need them. But if you're harvesting herbs to dry or freeze, it's best to harvest when the essential oils responsible for flavor and aroma are at their highest levels. For herbs harvested for their leaves, like basil, oregano, and thyme, that's just before the plants flower. For herbs that are harvested for their blooms, like chamomile or calendula, that's just as the flowers open. If you're gathering herbs to freeze or dry, the best time of day to harvest is early to mid-morning, once the dew has dried from the plants, but before the sun and the heat of the day has had a chance to evaporate the flavorful oils in the leaves. Now that we know when to harvest, let's talk about how to harvest. There are several tools I used when harvesting my homegrown herbs. I use my fingers to pinch off the new growth from tender herbaceous herbs like basil. I also use mini garden shears, which are perfect for snipping stems of herbaceous and semi-woody herbs like thyme and rosemary. When I harvest large amounts of herbs, like oregano, for drying, I use my Felco 2 hand pruners. Basil is one of the most popular culinary herbs grown in gardens and containers. You can start to harvest from your basil plants about 4 to 6 weeks from transplanting, when they're about 6 to 8 inches tall. For big, bushy basil plants, the secret is regular trimming. This young plant has a single stem, but I'm going to clip that main stem back to a strong set of side shoots. This effectively doubles my basil harvest, as I've turned this single-stemmed plant into a double-stemmed plant. When harvesting from basil plants, don't just pluck off the leaves. Instead, use your fingers or garden shears to pinch or clip back the stems as I just demonstrated. Always cut back to a fresh set of leaves to stimulate new leaf growth. By early to midsummer, you'll also notice flower buds forming on the tips of basil shoots. Pinch these out to delay flowering and encourage plenty of new growth. Oregano. I have a big clump of Greek oregano plants in my raised beds, but I also have tucked a few in containers on my deck, which is super handy when I'm cooking and just need a little bit of oregano. I love the flavor of Greek oregano and cut my garden plants back by half just before they flower. This stimulates fresh growth and a second harvest about 4 weeks later, giving me plenty of fragrant oregano to dry for winter. Parsley. Parsley is one of my go-to herbs, and I use the flavorful leaves in salads, soups, and pastas. The leaves of curly and flat-leaf parsley emerge from the center of the plant, so when I harvest parsley, I clip the stems to the ground. Thyme. Thyme is a low-growing perennial herb with woody stems. I use the intensely flavored leaves, fresh and dried. To harvest, clip sprigs of thyme as needed. Don't try to break the woody stems by hand, as you can damage the plant. Use clippers or shears. To dry large amounts, cut the plants back before they flower. Chamomile. The small daisy-like flowers of chamomile can be used fresh or dried to make a fragrant tea. I pick the flowers as they open by pinching the individual blooms with my fingers. You can also use garden shears to cut stems and hang them to dry indoors. Once the flowers are completely dry, store them in jars. Don't be shy about harvesting from your homegrown herbs. Most types of herbs respond to pinching and pruning by pushing out lots of fresh new growth. So the more you pick, the more you get.